Hello, Cat. This JJ Lin reaction is for you. I think you know which one it is. And don't say I never do anything for you. Alright, with that said, I guess let's get this reacting party started. I'm quite certain you guys will figure out the name of the track once we're done. Alright, so I guess without further ado, let's get this reacting party started. This is obviously, well, just watch. Let's see how it goes, alright? So, without further ado, here we go. It looks at.
Yeah.
Alright. Okay, obviously it looks as though the music video has to do, it's more animated, which is great. It reminds me of Final Fantasy, The Spirit Within. And at the same time, the opening refrain from the song reminds me, it kind of sounds, well, sounds like Evanescence, one of the Evanescence track. I don't remember what it is. That's just the opening refrain, but obviously it's very different. It diverges after a couple of bars in. And obviously this came out before the Evanescence one, so that was great. I don't know. That's just I'm just putting it out there, you know, how I feel about the whole thing. Yeah, so I'm gonna take it back and I'm gonna start all over again and not make this weirder than it has to be. It's interesting though, yeah. I'll have to give it that.
Yeah. What? 妖精在我的鼻子前跳着舞，嗜血过度的我眼睛变模糊，杀气粉碎了喉咙，惨烈音符，下一刻又复活，重复循环着没人问为什么，独自奔跑。
Alright, I like it. It's got a little bit of hip hop flair. The cadence kind of gravitates towards hip hop, but at the same time still sticks to pop, I guess I could say. So it's sort of, I always love those hybrids. It's like you're not quite sure exactly what genre, what style they're actually using. It's sort of, when it's a hybrid, you're not quite. Hybrids are interesting, which is what's the case over here right now. So that is absolutely fantastic. And so far so good. Obviously this is from his second album, for those of you who don't know, and let's continue.
我在森林中的寂寞，遥远的大钟声被抛在脑后。你看我，我就保护我目睹的一切，真实的存在这个世界，是心灵的残缺，还是现实已被忽略？虚拟的山的站，我在另外一个天堂，我在其中迷惘和悲伤。 喷出飞溅，虚拟的刹那站，回到现实中也一样。就算活在天堂，亦是悲伤。黑暗势力炫耀死亡结果，光明尽力散发出魔的洒脱。现代人美妙思绪里的沉着，在光暗是战火。他们是。
Alright, yeah, I was wondering, is this actually based, is it the soundtrack for an animated series, or is it just one of his, you know, musical videos, which he tends to do, which tends to be very elaborate and very well done, that if you're not even certain what it is, you would actually think it's some sort of series. That's why I love his video production, and this is 2004, and this is absolutely fantastic, which is why I did say it reminded me of Final Fantasy Spirit Within in terms of the quality sort of. Yeah, so, well, yeah, it does remind me of that. So it is interesting. I was going to say something else, and that's fled my mind right now. But I guess we could continue. Let's take it back a bit. Oh, yes, yes. It does remind me. I did say it sort of had this hip hop flair, sort of straddle. I guess you could call it hip hop, which a lot of boy bands actually did back in the day. I mean, it is considered pop, but at the same time, it's like whenever the cadence is sped up and kind of a bit on the choppy side, it sort of straddles both, which is great. And for some reason, I don't even know why, now the song actually reminds me of songs by NSYNC, which is, I don't know, insane, I guess. Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. So let's continue. This is fun.
裂空间，肉眼看不见，此生战斗后的一切飞上天，银色的花依然向敌人倾斜，剑锋却不动停歇。我目睹的一切，真实的存在这个世界，是心灵的残缺，还是现实已被忽略？虚拟的山和家，我在另外一个天堂。
And it's got the dance moves too. Okay, that's the first time I've actually heard him rap in English. It's different from what I expected. It still sounded it sounded as though, I guess I could say it sounded as though it was a hip hop, it was a boy band NSYNC from back in the early 2000s, if they actually tried to actually rap. That's the style, that's the flow I feel. So I'm guessing he's actually emulating that style, because I've also heard him rap of late, and it's very different. The cadence is very different. So I guess it sort of fits with that period in time that it actually came out, which is around 2003, 2004, if I'm not mistaken. So that worked for that time. That is very different. It's interesting to see him do that, and yes, I do believe this is actually heavily influenced by the style of music that was around during that time, especially with the boy groups. Then again, if I'm wrong, I do apologize, but that's what I feel while watching it, while listening to it. So that is interesting. Alright. That was JJ Lin's Haven, or Second Haven, depending on which translation it is. And as I said, it does look like as though it's actually a soundtrack for an animated series, and I did say it reminded me as The Spirit Within, but I might actually be wrong in that. I mean, it does remind me of that in terms of character design and how the realism, but as a whole, it sort of sticks to the Final Fantasy, but not obviously. The Spirit Within. The Spirit Within went a little bit further and tried to create, I guess you could say, an animated movie that was so grounded in realism that it was so grounded. The special effects was ahead of its time. It was kind of grounded in realism, which ultimately went against it because the storyline wasn't that great in the first place. So it felt as though you're actually watching good actors working on a bad script, which is why that movie failed. It was absolutely amazing. The special effects, the animation, how close it came to realism, whatever. And then you had that, and you kind of forgot all about that, and you're trying to invest yourself into the story, and the story was not that good, which sort of defeats the whole purpose, and which is, I think, technically the reason why it kind of bombed at the box office. But that's not what happened. That's not what's happening with this. I have no idea why I actually segued into that. That's just insane. That was JJ Lin's Haven. That wasn't bad. That was from his 2004 album. I know, Kat, you did say this was actually your favorite from the track, but mine, I have to say, is actually Salt River. I thought that was absolutely fantastic, phenomenal. Which this was good, but I think Salt River is a scotch better than Haven. That's all I gotta say to that. So that was fun. That was interesting. I love the blend of realism and anime. It's not the first time it's been done, but it's actually the first. I guess back then it would have been way ahead of its time, so it actually worked. I'm assuming it would have been much more impressive at the time. That's what I'm going for. I do love the cinematic scope. It's very interesting. As I said, his videos are usually very well thought out, and I'm assuming that's not an actual movie or story or gameplay. I'm not quite sure exactly, but it's very interesting, and you could actually tell from that and his recent work that he tends to, flesh out his music videos. He tends to go out. It's like his music video is like the storyboard for his music, which is pretty good. And also, yes, I did read the lyrics. It's a bit confusing. It sounded as though some is about, how would I put it? From what I gathered reading the lyrics, it's about a guy who's in the midst of a war and has something to do with good and evil. And I'm not quite sure if he's actually on the verge of death. And somehow, it's very confusing, I have to say. It's like, the language is very descriptive, obviously. It's making allusions about certain things that I'm quite certain that I'm actually missing, which is why I'm having a hard time trying to explain what it is about. But based on the music video, it sort of makes sense. I know it's a war. They're about to go over there, and apparently something's happening between good and evil. I'm not quite sure how that pertains to Second Heaven, but I guess I'll have to go back and reread the lyrics and see if it would actually make a difference now that I've actually watched the video. But you know what? I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. But you guys could actually help me with this. You could actually leave comments down below. let me know what you think about it, and I definitely do read them, so I would obviously respond. And thank you immensely for pointing me in the right direction as to what the lyrics actually pertains to. So, with that said, this is your boy Jack. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to hit the notification button. It lets you know when next I drop a new vid. Don't forget to leave comments down below. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you want me to react to. If you've got nothing to say, just say hey. If you disagree with something I've said or wish to add to it, please don't hesitate to leave it in the comments down below. All I ask is that you be constructive about it. And yes, that was JJ Lane's Haven, and that's dedicated to you, Cat. I know. I said that earlier, but I'm saying it again. That's for you. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you all on the flip side.